It was a really complex journey, I guess I would say, making the decision to participate, knowing what it would stir up, knowing the type of conversations that it was going to inevitably open up.
Hi, I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. It's so great to meet you, Miriam. I'm a huge Degrassi fan growing up, so I'm just so excited to speak with you today about the documentary.
Oh, thank you so much. I love to hear that you're a fan. Thank you for supporting us throughout all these years, and I'm so happy to chat with you.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, first of all, I wanted to ask, like, when you first joined Degrassi The Next Generation, did you have any sense of like the cultural impact it would go on to have?
Absolutely not. I got the call around when I was having my grade 8 graduation. I just thought this is going to be a fun summer job. I thought, oh shoot, I have to miss my grade 8 grad in order to be filming, but you know what? That's okay. Small price to pay. At least I get to do something fun for a summer. And yeah, I mean, the show very quickly took on a life of its own, and here we are almost 25 years later talking about it, which is mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely. What was it like for you to revisit Degrassi's Legacy in the documentary? Like, were there any moments that like surprised you?
Absolutely. It was a really complex journey, I guess I would say, making the decision to participate, knowing what it would stir up, knowing the type of conversations that it was going to inevitably open up. So it took a lot of sort of like, I don't know, inner coming to terms with things, I guess, to decide to do it. I'd made peace with the show. I'd made peace with all my experiences, the good and the bad. But I really did feel that with our fan base being sort of ever supportive and ever present, it would be really nice for them to get a little peek behind what they already know. And I think that what this documentary really does is it strips another layer back. In previous interviews, I think a lot of us very much felt like we were a little more robotic in how we were presenting ourselves and in what we were sharing and what we were sort of allowed to share. So I think the documentary really gives a much, much deeper look into the whole experience of the show.
Was there anything that maybe was a favorite memory of yours that didn't make it into the documentary?
Yeah, so I think, I mean, the documentary, I sat down with them for about 4 hours chatting. And as you know, it was cut down to minutes of content. So there was so much that wasn't included. And I think really overall for me, the actual filming of the show was such a small part of the entire experience. So what really stands out is absolutely the friendships that we made, absolutely the fan encounters and the experiences and interactions that we were able to have beyond the show. Like being at the studio and doing our job was, I mean, it was microscopic compared to like the impact that it had on all of us, and certainly I think for the people watching as well. So yeah, I mean, I think we touched on the lows and I think we touched on the hard things in ways that we hadn't before. But I absolutely would not want to discount all the super fun, amazing memories that were made, friendships that were forged, and just like, how thankful I am to have had the chance to get on that crazy ride.
In the documentary, you opened up about your own struggles with an eating disorder, the heartbreaking loss of your sister around the same time that your character was given a storyline focused on that. And in the documentary, you kind of made it seem like maybe there were better ways that it could have been handled. But I'm curious, I guess, looking back, how you feel now, knowing that that storyline resonated with so many people.
So in the documentary, the way they edited together the little clip where I'm discussing the passing of my sister, the eating disorder, and the episode, um, they did a little bit leave some confusion of the timeline of things. Like for me, my eating disorder was most prevalent season one, two, and maybe a little bit into season three. My sister dealt with an eating disorder from the time she was 12 until 28 when she passed. And the filming of the episode was in, I think it was around 2005. And so my sister was still in the midst of her battle at that time. So just as from a timeline standpoint, the documentary didn't completely clarify that. And I think it was, again, just this mixed bag of emotions. I was so thankful to be able to talk about something that was hitting so close to home for me that I could see firsthand just the extremes that it can take a person and how severe of an issue that it really is. I also felt this sense of needing to protect myself because it's such raw and vulnerable content. Um, And I also was super cognizant of the weight that it carried for so many people watching and just wanting to do the episode justice while protecting myself while watching what my sister was in the throes of going through. So it was a lot. But absolutely the takeaway is that if that episode or anything I'm talking about now can be in any way a light for someone who was experiencing a challenge or is facing a challenge, then absolutely it's all worth it. And I'm so thankful.
Were the cast able to like support each other during those kind of like heavier moments?
Yeah, so I think everyone dealt with things in different ways. Like my recourse as like a kid and a teenager was that self-protection, going more into introvert mode, like I'm going to just deal with this quietly on my own, internalize everything. And it's only really since kind of leaving the industry that I've almost gone the opposite, where I'm much more vocal. And it's why I'm able to share now. I would never have dreamed of speaking about any of this up until, maybe a couple of years ago. So, I mean, we certainly dealt with things in a different way. There was definitely a supportive energy amongst us all. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I was just sort of like, I just kind of dealt with things as a solitary little soldier, and that was my way of coping.
I'm sure it's, very difficult to discuss, so I appreciate you, sharing with us. Something else that I feel like was such an impactful storyline was the school shooting, and I feel like nowadays that's so much more prevalent. I was wondering, I guess, how you feel they handled it and how you feel like looking back, it can like impact future generations that are still dealing with this on like a honestly like scary level.
Absolutely. I mean, the shooting episode was terrifying. That's really the only word that I can use to describe it. Having an actual gun on set was this feeling that I've never experienced before. There was a somber tone. I mean, a lot of the time during the episodes, we'd be joking around in between takes. This episode had this completely different energy because we did, I think, all realize the weight that the storyline carried. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's terrifying to read the news and see how frequently these things are occurring. So I think what's most important is that it didn't only show sort of the build up in the episode, but the repercussions and the aftermath. Even, I mean, I think you could argue that it was part of what sort of led Emma to even her eating disorder episode, to the bracelets in the ravine, to all these sort of, you know, difficult, kind of ugly experiences, is the after effects too that it has on the survivors of horrific situations psychologically and what it does to you. Yeah, so I mean, it's terrifying and horrifying that these things are still occurring, but I'm thankful that the show at least touched on it, even if, you know, there was much more that they could have expanded on.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things about the show that was so like different and so impactful. Like not only, are you following like teenagers and like their perspectives, but like the storylines continued. It wasn't like, oh, this happened one time and like that was it. Jimmy Jimmy was in a wheelchair the
Yeah,
whole
now
rest
he's
of the time.
not.
Like everybody's impact, like it kept going. That whole Emma and Spinner marriage, that's something that has been a little controversial topic for for fans, maybe
Yeah.
mixed feelings. How did you feel about that storyline at the time, and would you change anything in hindsight?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly abrupt. It was certainly out of left field. My jaw dropped. I was like, yo, what? Because I mean, if I had to pick a side, everybody always likes to go like, are you team Sean and Emma or are you team Emma and Spinner? And my instinct was always like, well, go with the history, go with the Sean and Emma. That was from season one. Like let's give them a fighting chance. I was shocked. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I don't know if the writers were just like, well, gee, we have to write these two characters off the show. How are we going to do it? Oh, I know. We'll let them get married. I don't know. I don't know where this idea even really came from. But yeah, I was shocked, that's for sure.
There's been speculation that Drake may be involved in rebooting Degrassi.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on a possible reboot? Is that something that you'd ever want to revisit as Emma today?
I mean, so it's not something I've ever been a part of a conversation on. I certainly haven't heard that it's being rebooted. I have spent the last several years now, just really embracing my life outside of the business. I love living a private existence, and I there's certain parts of the media that, maybe I miss, like, going to get to see old friends and stuff like that. But I really, really love life outside of being on camera. So I don't know, but I'm also the type of person that says never say never. So I would have to see, where I'm at if that opportunity ever arose.
I just want to thank you so much for your time and congratulations on the documentary. I know people are going to love seeing it and just hearing more about all that behind the scenes content. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice chatting with you.
You too. Consider subscribing if you like this video and get even more entertainment news at popcultureplanet.com. See ya!